Welcome to the VET S.O.S podcast presenting Operation Startup. Remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline. Operation Startup is proud to be affiliated with Neil Haley Show and sponsored by Spirit Point Solution. Spirit Point Solution is a one-stop shop for leading-edge products, services, and training for multiple vendors. And we're talking AI training to corporate gifts and so much more. They have everything you need to help an organization thrive in the modern economy. So check out all the valuable offerings at spiritpointonline.com. And remember to use the code VET-SOS on anything that you purchase there. That will help us continue our mission of improving the lives of those who have served. So on today's show, we have Isabel Garcia Schmitt. She's a U.S. Army veteran, military spouse, and co-founder of LOGSA Mil Moves, a move management company specialized in military household goods relocation. She's a fierce advocate for military families, navigating the PCS process. She's also the founder of Guerrero Leather and champion of military spouse employment and entrepreneurship. Most recently, she has been recognized as the Armed Forces Insurance 2026 Army Spouse of the Year. She is married to Peter. He's still on active duty. Sorry about that, Peter. And has two awesome athletic scholar kids and a dog named Diana. How you doing today, Isabel?
Oh man, I'm so good, Maurice. Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's go back in time right now. Uh, you on active duty, husband on active duty, and now it's time for you to decide to say, I'm getting out of the service. So talk to us about the three biggest lessons you learned in that transition from military life and civilian life, and how those lessons shape who you are today.
Okay, so three big lessons. I think the number one lesson is to follow your heart. So I was we met while we were both on active duty, not married then though. We were dating.
Mhm.
He left Germany shortly after we started dating, and then asked to keep dating. That fall, he told me he loved me, and I think then I knew, right? Like this is the thing. This is the thing to do. Finished out my time in the Army to become a military spouse. Got out of the Army, and let's see, August, November. So let's see, August, 2 months later, right? I get out of the Army 2 months later. We're married.
Wow.
We have two awesome kids. So number one is know what it is that you want, like for your life plan, right? And then that makes everything else easy. Definitely be picky and choosy with the person, right? Because walking this journey has everything to do with an absolute partner who believes in you, who has faith in you, who's there to support you on the days where you just don't have enough strength, right, to support yourself.
Yes.
Knowing those two things make the anything else in life way easier, right? Like I'm following my destiny, my heart, like what I feel is the right choice. And then I'm picky about that choice, and I know what I want, and I know how to design, or I have a plan for the design of my life.
Mhm.
And then when it comes to the transition, I mean, honestly, getting out of leaving active duty service and then going straight into mil spouse life, that transition was easy for me. A lot of folks don't have that opportunity. A lot of folks get out and they've got to figure out a lot of things very quickly, right? How am I going to pay my rent? Like I didn't have that struggle. I went straight into my Mrs. life as soon as I got out of the military. So in that like in that aspect, it was easy because I didn't have stressors about how to maintain my lifestyle. I went straight into like being a mil spouse. The hard part is that you have an identity. Everybody knows that when you're in the military, you create this incredible identity around service. I mean, service literally does break you all the way down to build you back up how they want you to be and operate and think. And to this day, I think and operate and am those ways, even though I was only in for 4 years. But I've been around it for the rest of my life, even after that. And so, yeah, the question is the three things, right? It was follow your heart, make sure you choose right. And then, okay, so I guess the last thing would be with that transition would be take advantage of the opportunities in front of you. And so for me, going straight into being a military spouse and not having to have all those worries, I was able to then look at how I wanted to navigate the rest of my life after raising kids. So, one of my big goals in the beginning was to be present and around for my children. But all the while I'm doing that, I'm thinking that my eventual road is entrepreneurship. And so I was building the entire time. And it doesn't mean that you have to build fast, it means that you have to build deliberate. And so when I had specific opportunities that were going to later tie into what became my entrepreneurial journey, I could go back to those things, refer to those things, use those certifications, or use the experience that I picked up in a particular job to help me on the path that I'm on today. And I still do that. I mean, I call upon the knowledge that I gained as an operator in the military, and then I call upon all of the different little jobs and things that I did when I started my MilSpouse journey. And that comes from volunteer stuff. So all that those uncompensated hours, or things like taking a job with monster.com. It was a contract position, which meant I could just do it every now and again, and I could work as a public speaker, which has helped me in my life as an entrepreneur. Yeah, so those are the three things.
Gotcha. So now, it seems as though when you first got out, you already knew you want to be an entrepreneur. What was it about being an entrepreneur as soon as you got out that really wanted to do? What was that one thing that made you say, okay, hey, this is what I want to do?
It's impact. I get to design the impact that I have on not only people's lives, but on entire communities. And so when you look at our journey now with LOGSA Mil Moves, we're impacting the military spouse community because that is who works in and around LOGSA Mil Moves. That's who's powering all of the move management that we do. And then with Guerrero Leather, I get to be a part of something that is greater than myself, right? Like, I've already been in the military. That's amazing. Now I'm trying to plug into community in a different way that uplifts an entire community that is oftentimes not given economic opportunity. And so Guerrero Leather is centered around trying to combat human trafficking across the US-Mexico border. That's all run now by cartels. And so it's very, very dangerous for folks to do that. If we create opportunity in Mexico for Mexicans, then we're helping those communities get stronger. And all the while, we're helping American entrepreneurs um, choose the path of entrepreneurship through leather goods. And so we provide a wholesale service for those entrepreneurs who I hope later to be lots of military connected persons, veterans, military spouses. But it's impact. At the end of the day, when you own the business, you get to design the business, you get to decide where profits flow to. And a lot, our profits, even now, as a very small company with LOGSA Mil Moves, right? Those profits flow to, there are nonprofit efforts. We help. Just recently, we sponsored a team to go to New Balance, a track team to go to New Balance Nationals that wouldn't have been able to go otherwise. And so impacting your community in awesome ways is what entrepreneurism, I think, gives you. Like, that was the thing that I remember noticing when I was a young person. It's like really cool business owners that you run into who are doing really cool things. Like, even if it's just sponsoring the local Little League team, that was always so intriguing and awesome to me. And so now I'm glad and happy to be a person that can do that for other people.
Gotcha. So you've kind of answered my next question is what lights you up? And what's been the most important part about being an entrepreneur? But it sounds as though your impact in the community has really taken off and taken to that level of how much impact you make in the community.
So it's people. People are the thing that for me are the most exciting thing of everything. It's working with people. It's helping people. It's uh, getting people to the next level. So people typically understand where they are. And if they're trying to self-actualize, and I definitely love working people who are already on that self-actualization journey, but they know where they are and they know where they want to get to. If I can be an entity that can help plug in and say, hey, I can see the vision that you see, and let me connect you with this person, or let me help you with this resource so we can get you to that next place. Like, that is the most fun I think that anyone can have in life. I mean, we are here for a very limited amount of time, and impact is everything. And impact can be as simple on a daily basis as a smile that you give to someone when you're out and about running your errands, or it's a resource that you share with someone that wasn't quite sure they weren't sure how they were going to crack a particular nut, and then you gave them that one little seed, and they were able to turn that into something else. I mean, that's what for me is fun and exciting, and it's having someone go, "Hey, you helped me that one time, and that meant a lot to me." Like that really like makes that brightens my day. That feeds my soul. I guess it's the thing. Like I'm trying to be out here doing things that feed my soul, and people, when I can help them and get them the places they want to get to, like that feeds my soul. It's with my children, with my husband, especially. Yeah, I love doing that. Like, mm.
Got you. Now, being an entrepreneur isn't always the glitz and glamour, the sunshine, the rainbows. What's been the hardest part for you, and what's been the most frustrating part about your journey, and how'd you deal with it together?
So the hard part is burnout, is understanding where the limits are, and I'm getting better at it now. Like we're 7 years down the road with LOGSA Mil Moves. I'm gonna be 2 years down the road with Guerrero Leather, and it's understanding my limitations. So I am only a human, and now that I'm in my mid to late 40s, like you start to figure some things out real fast about how much energy you have. I mean, I still have some pretty good energy levels, but it's understanding how to recognize when those moments are coming and then calling in the cavalry. Like you do have to do that, and that's hard because most entrepreneurs are type A. Like you don't decide to go out and like start a business if you're not a type A person. Typically those are the ones that it works out for too, because you're paying attention to the things you need to be paying attention to. But the hard parts um, are making sure that you're doing what you need to do to protect yourself. And of course, I'm getting better at that. The frustrating parts are that again, like people are my strength, people are my weakness. My husband taught me that 90% of anything you do is personality management. And so understanding that working with people is both beautiful and hard is probably one of those lessons that early entrepreneurs like need to get better at. And now there's so many resources online. Like you literally don't have to do any research. You go into Claude, right? And you type in, can you help put together a plan for me to protect myself from X, right? And so it's protect myself from burnout. And you're going to get a whole list of things that you can do to protect yourself. And so, yeah, those are the frustrations. Those are the hard parts, but there's a ton of resources to help, the entrepreneurs who are getting into the space now mitigate that stuff.
Got you. Now, you talk about resources, and I want to ask this question. What resources, or was there any veteran programs or mentorship programs or communities that you plugged into when you decided to start your business, and anything that you recommend for our audience?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Wendy, my co-founder, she attended a VWise event, and this was even before she and I had started working together again. So that VWise event um, helped her sort of plant the seeds for her entrepreneurial journey. And then I used, this is a transition program, and I used it much later in life because a lot of these programs are available even way after you transition. But the IVMF programs, right? The PMP programs from IVMF. So definitely check out VWise if you're a women veteran entrepreneur, and then check out IVMF. If you're interested in program management, and they've got a ton of other resources besides program management. So that's where I started. When we started down the entrepreneurial path, we we connected with Hiring Our Heroes right away. So Hiring Our Heroes is also a really great resource to utilize for those folks who are looking for transition and jobs while because you can be an entrepreneur when you get out of the military, but oftentimes most entrepreneurs are also working a job at the same time. Um, Other entrepreneurial, sorry about that. Like I think I can hear the background. I apologize for that, guys. Let me think of some others. Those are the ones right off the top of my head. Then there's AMC. So AMC, run by Moni Jefferson. So she's out there helping military spouse entrepreneurs get better in their entrepreneurial journeys. Portia Miller is a coach who can help coach executive teams. She's a resource that we have really plugged into lately to help our team sort of navigate the growth that we're seeing. That's just off the top of my head. There's a ton more, and I'd written them all down before, because then I'm going to be like, oh, I forgot about this and that and the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those who are listening, there are tons of resources out there, and most of the time it's probably about other veterans uh, and other resources and organizations. So just do your research. If you can use several right now, be wise. Um, the other ones. So go out and do research. Go back and listen to the podcast again, and you'll get all the ones you mentioned. So now let's get into. I want to know. Tell us about your business. What exactly that you do? What you got? What you do with the different other business?
Yeah. So we're LOGSA Mil Moves. We service military, and then civilian customers who have military connected persons or just find out about us, through the regular channels. But we essentially help military families move on a PPM model, but they don't have to do the Diddy portion of that. So a Diddy is a do-it-yourself move. A PPM is a personally procured move. In a Diddy, you're doing everything yourself. You're packing, you're loading, you're getting a truck, you're filling it up. With a managed PPM, you get to control who is doing your move. So you're going to hire LOGSA out, but we do all of the work. So you're not having to pack, load, or drive anything. We do all of that for you. Um, it allows our military customers to have control. And so in the normal DP3 system, it's essentially like a lottery. You might get a really great mover because there's a lot of great movers in the system, but you might get a mover that isn't great. Electing to do a PPM lets you off ramp your budget. You call LOGSA Mil Moves. We will handle the entire move for you, top to bottom, and we'll do it in a way that protects service members because my husband's still active duty, right? And I'm a veteran. My co-founder is a veteran. Mil spouses, we know what it looks like to be stressed out because not only do you have a PCS move, but you've got a deployment that's looming. You've got an EFMP child. You have a dog, a turtle, and two birds, and you just got your orders a month ago, and you're gonna have to do it by yourself, and you just found out you were pregnant. Like the people who understand that, that's LOGSA Mil Moves, and so we treat every move as carefully as we can. We're working logistics months out. When we got into this, people would tell us, you can't book things months out. Like, that's ridiculous. That's not how this works. And we just didn't give up and we just kept doing it the way that we do it. And we've found great success in protecting those military families. And when we like what we do.
Yeah. I mean, you absolutely right. Everything you said, that's accurate. Having all those things going on at the same time, how to make a move, spouse on deployment, you're pregnant, you got kids, you got dogs, you got all these different things. So shout out to all of the military spouses out there because you guys rock. It's,
We do. We really do. You're not wrong.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So now, for someone who wants to get connected to you guys and help out with that PNP move, where should they go to learn more? How should they go about getting contact with you guys?
So definitely, if you are looking for a move, visit us at www.logsamilmoves.com. And then I would ask that you please go check out our Facebook page and give us a like. Facebook page is the same, LOGSA space Mil, MIL, Moves, MOVES. And that's LOGSA, LOGSA. A lot of folks yeah, you did a great job, but a lot of folks are like, what is that? And we literally took the name when LOGSA was the logistics supply activity for the Army for the longest time, and they renamed themselves the LDAC, the Logistics Data Analysis Center. And the day that they did that, we grabbed up the LOGSA name because it had some name recognition, but it's also about logistics. And so we call ourselves the Logistics Support Allies. That's what LOGSA stands for. So I just wanted to share that.
Gotcha. So before we get out of here, we'd like to ask all the guests, give us one piece of advice for those who are listening if they want to go to
It's pay attention to numbers, right? So do that market research. Folks will tell you that that's the first thing you have to do. You can have all the heart for something, but if the math doesn't math, you're going to end up getting burnt out down a road that was never sustainable or viable. So pay attention to the marketing trends, do your market research, and always lead with your numbers. It'll keep you from getting emotional about being in the entrepreneurial space.
Absolutely. Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We want to thank you, Isabel, for joining us here on the VET S.O.S podcast, YouTube Operation Startup. On behalf of VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for listening and joining us today. You can find the VET S.O.S podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and social media platforms. And make sure you subscribe and follow VET S.O.S so you don't miss anything else. Further interview we did with this and that. And remember, our motto here is, "Remember, don't try to seal transition. Grab the VET S.O.S as well."
Bye.